Hello and welcome. مرحبا وأهلا وسهلا. Hola y benvenido. Namaste or आपका स्वागत. Hi. And rod o khosh amd. And many more languages that I wish I could learn, but getting there, I promise. And by the way, I completely apologize if I just butchered your languages into pieces. I'm so sorry. Now, look, I'm over the moon that you have decided to come and join me here today, and I appreciate the time you took to be here right now, and I promise that I will be doing everything I can to make this time extremely informative, educational, and most importantly, transformational as much as I can, because I value your time and I relate to your situation you are in right now. Otherwise, you wouldn't have joined me today. So I'll also be revealing the big fat new program that I have under my sleeve. I am so excited, but so nervous, to be honest with you. So let me take you with me into a journey that tells a story about my personal struggles as an ADC student who failed 3 times before passing. Yes, what you just heard is true. I passed in my 4th attempt, and I was told by everyone, including all the coaches I went to, who, starting from the very first coach who I went, he was preparing for his exam that time too, but like led on with that story. I failed. Okay, all of the coaches who told me that you're gonna pass and first attempt, no, different second attempt, I failed. So there's a lot of juicy stories to tell. So hang in tight, because we are about to walk through a time capsule that will let you relate to so much of what is happening in your life with ADC right now. But wait, okay? Because that's not the journey I want to share with you only. Because otherwise I would have told you go back to one of my old videos I posted about my story a long time ago. Look, my story as an ADC student is just the tip of the iceberg, okay? But I want to share also the struggles I face personally as a coach and as a mentor, and seeing my very own students struggle while I'm involved in their journey too. And then the struggles that I had as a businesswoman and as an owner and director of a professional institute. I felt so overwhelmed with the amount of information and teaching that I need to give everyone to make sure that I get them to the other side of the road and truly help them pass. You know, I knew as an experienced coach and mentor, I have to remain personally involved and keep delivering the main courses and teachings. But I realized the more I do it, the more overwhelmed I'm getting, and the candidates are still overwhelmed, and the other coaches are getting overwhelmed. And you know, as a personal circumstances, I'm mom of 4, practicing clinician in the clinic, running a full-time business that has staff and to train and supervise, taxes to pay and monitor, government documents to go through and sign, create courses that are tailored for the necessities of the students, train my own students who pass how to become a coach and mentor them, for them to start practicing their passion as an ADC coach and mentor, and make sure that everyone is happy and get what they need so they are able to pass. Whoa, that was hectic. You know, even right now it's making me a bit nervous. But more on that later. For now, I want you today to come out from this webinar and you. Even if you don't take my offer at the end, which I can truly say you'll be missing out so much if you don't, but that's okay. Everybody has their own circumstances, but at least you'll get the full explanation and the true story of ADC exam and what is required to prepare for it and pass it. I want to show you the accurate explanation of the ADC marking, because a lot of people interpret it and think that they know it, but they don't actually know it. And if they did, they would not have been doing what they've been doing right now, including you, yourself. You would not have had that false overconfidence. I want to explain to you the reason why passing rate is only 13%. And I want to explain to you the reason why candidates fail again and again, over and over and over. The cycle never ends. Then they do part 1 again. They pass it hopefully, and then they fail part 2 again. The things I'll share with you today will make you never ever look at yourself, the tutors, your study partners, even us as professional centers and coaches, and most importantly, the ADC exam, the same way you did before this webinar ever again. So before we start, go to a quiet place without any distractions. If you have not already, go and grab a coffee, tea, or your favorite beverage, whatever your day or time requires. Get a notepad and pen to take notes, because I'll be sharing some very juicy information with you today, and buckle up. Because boy, we are going to go on a road trip that is bumpy. And at the end of it, you'll completely be transformed into a new you and reignite the spirit in you to find the strength and hope to attempt this exam again. Or if this is your first time, to attempt it as a fighter who takes action and knows what is required for the exam and will remain focused and dedicated, not as a dreamer who just wishes and hopes and don't believe in themselves, or want to blame the exam, or want to blame the teachers or the teeth or whatever other excuse you are feeding yourself with. Now, don't worry if you can't attend the webinar till the end, okay? Or if you find it so valuable that you want to record it. This webinar is recorded and you'll be sent an email with a recording. That's why we ask you to register, okay? And get your email. So all good. I still suggest you attend live as much as you can. We are here live with you so that we can answer all your questions, but don't worry if you can't. Now, if you have any questions at any time during any time of the webinar, feel free to write it in the chat box and we will answer it live on the spot through the chat box as well, to prevent from any distractions to the other participants, and also to get on spot with your questions once you hear it in the webinar. Now, let me introduce myself. I think I haven't done it yet. So my name is Dr. Lena Judah, a previous ADC candidate who struggled a lot till I passed. An ADC mentor who I was able to extract all my own experience and trial and error and the life lessons that I learned along the way. It was a hectic journey that finally made me pass and transferred my knowledge and skills to thousands of ADC students, and been able to be an instrumental part of hundreds of success stories, hundreds and hundreds, and also past candidates, people who passed. Now, did you hear what I just said? Okay, I was an instrumental part in them passing. I was not the sole reason for them passing. Okay, I give you the tools. I give you the guidance. I pave the path for you. I stick by your side and give you tough love when you need it. But to pass, it's on you. When you pass, most of the credit goes to you. And I gladly take part of that credit, because I did put my heart, soul, and everything I have to make sure that you pass. But in the end, it's you who does the hard work. It's you who take the action. It's you who maximize the benefits of my guidance and my tools and my other mentors in the center, and then tailor it to you and then personalize it according to you. I'm not here to feed you pre-filled templates for you to memorize. I'm not here to tell you, come and follow my secret formula and get my tips that will make you pass. That's BS, excuse my language. I'm here to guide you and hold your hand and show you the way and what is needed, and give you some slaps when you slack or get demotivated. Okay? Making mistakes is absolutely okay. And you don't have to feed me or the exam for that matter, because believe it or not, you can still pass. But giving up or losing hope because you made a mistake or failed, hell to the no, I'm not letting you do it. So right now, I'm telling you, if you don't click with what I'm saying right now, then there's no need for you to even finish the webinar. And I wish you the best of luck, and just ask one of your friends or colleagues about the section where I explain in all details about the exam, and you don't have to finish what I have to say. Because teaching is a relationship, believe it or not, okay? I need you to be committed as much as I need to be committed into it too. And we need to click together and have that trust. Otherwise, it won't work. And it might cost you your exam too, right? So let's enter a time capsule for a minute, more than a minute, but you know what I mean. And recap quickly my personal ADC journey. I promise it will be quick, but you will learn so much of my own ups and downs and know why I am such a tough code and such a pain in the as an examiner in my role play, okay? Now, March 2014, I decided to sit the ADC Part 1. No idea what to expect, no idea what to study, nowhere, we were the very first batch of the new system for the Part 1. They introduced the SBQ and MCQ instead of the SAQ and MCQ. So I had no idea, not even the slightest of what to expect or from where to study, okay? Because simply we had like no past papers, no candidates to talk to or get information from. And then I buy some online materials for Part 1 and pay like nearly $400, which gets delivered to my door. And then I find out through my friend that this is like printed papers of past questions and 1000 MCQs with corrected answers. Okay, my friend tells me, here, that's the USB. You just got the printed version of the already circulated free material in the internet. And I'm like, what? And then like I get so overwhelmed. Okay, I can't do this. But I have no idea what to study. So I said, oh, let me go to like a professional coaching institute. And I like am very picky on who coaches me. So they have to be like affiliated with the university. They have to be like some sort of lecturer or whatever, thinking that that's going to be helpful for ADC. So I go to a professional coaching institute that is affiliated with a known university in Melbourne, and I pay like $5,000, not including accommodation and food. This course is not being run anymore, by the way, okay? This is like years ago. So to be told by the very same institute that we are teaching you the old way, okay, because we basically don't know what's going to happen with the new exam, and we were hoping that you guys, once you do the exam, you tell us the new questions. And I'm like, then why go ahead with the program? Shouldn't you make us cancel or at least give us a discount or like give us a refund or something? But anyway, so 2014, I mostly studied from Odell, which that time wasn't even part of the recommended books, but thank God I had a hunch to read from it and went through therapeutic guidelines. And I really I really don't have energy to study as I was. Like I was so up and down with hormones from my pregnancy. I was early on pregnant, and anyone who has kids before and is pregnant right now, you know the depression that you get and the mood swings. Oh, it just makes me like, even thinking about the pregnancy, oh. So I said to myself, look, Lena, you booked the exam. What are you going to lose? Okay, there you fail. Well, it's booked. You get a chance to know the questions at least, and just do it. I'll do it again. So I did, and I passed. I barely passed my Part 1, but still passed. I don't even know how I got a B in one of the papers too. Like I was seriously shocked, but I was happy. I passed. Okay, even though technically speaking, I basically read next to nil in comparison what you actually need to read, and that 4-week $5,000, I didn't even finish it. Like I was just sleeping at home because it was ridiculous. It was a bunch of slides of nothing. So what I found in Part 1 is that I found the exam, like I found in general, even right now, because I always go through the past papers. The short answer, the scenario-based questions, the SBQs, they're actually quite clinical, and I loved it. So I found them easy to answer. So I think if I go back today and resit the Part 1, I think I'll perform better than the first time. So look, who cares if you get an A or C? Okay, you want to pass. So study what is relevant. And if you are afraid of failing, there's no one judging you unless you allow them to judge. Because I'll tell you something. Now, there's no excuse for hard work. There's no excuse of not to study. But sometimes in your life, you don't have time to study properly. You can't be pregnant, okay, with all the hormones. You can't control the chaos at home with kids. in the family, in the commitments. You can't control the fact that you're getting married in 2 weeks, let's say, or there's some sort of big life event in your life. But you can still perform, and you can still pass. Even if it's not a high pass, you can still pass. So just do it. Don't be scared. Don't let the fear get to you. Now, June 2014 comes, okay, because I passed, I got my results. So June 2014 comes, and the first exam of also the new system now, but for the practical. I'm now 9 months pregnant, don't know what a home setup is, okay? Haven't touched a tooth in such a long time, and no time for any coaching or setup or practice, because I basically got a voucher from the government. It's called the ASDOT voucher. It's discontinued. This I'm talking about like 6 years ago. So I said, oh, okay, so what could happen? Yeah, class 4, easy. Crown prep, I'm a master in it. Amalgam, hello, I'm a queen in it back in university. So I thought, yeah, I can do it. This is easy. Excellent. So I finally get bits and pieces of the home setup, but just the basics, like nothing much except the portable unit, the suitcase, and like not even the mannequin, just like a pole that I don't know how to hook, and the doors without the cheek. And I was like, because you need to wait months when you buy from eBay. So anyway, 2 weeks just before the exam, finally my portable unit comes, or my suitcase comes. I work on it, and then I find it's broken. And you know, by the time like you want to send it back, or the refund, or they send you one again, that we're talking about like two months, okay, 1 month to 2 months, and my exam's in 2 weeks. So like, are you kidding me? So I start panicking. You know, I need to go to someone. So I go to a center in Sydney that offers courses, and I get shoved. Okay, yes, shoved, because remember I was 9 months pregnant. Okay, I have like 15 other candidates on a big table, and there's like a pole, and not even a mannequin, like a pole and some cheap cheeks, and it's like 15 of us, and you practice the whole day while you are bumping and squeezing with the other colleagues, okay, because the place is so small and crowded. And then the teacher, okay, who passed God knows when, which is in the old system, because we were the new system, and it was on patience. So like literally comes for 3 hours a day, and every day there's someone you don't even know who, and they rotate to each person for about 5 minutes, and then they go. There's no demos, no proper assessments. I was like, even sometimes like they're commenting, I'm like, are you serious? So no actual teaching, okay? I don't even think that they knew what they were giving, but look, I ended up meeting a lot of good people in it, and they became friends and colleagues until that day. And by the way, that time I actually started like helping them out, because apparently everybody was complimenting, oh my God, your work is so good, your work is so good. I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, they're giving me a conference. I'm like, oh yeah, I can show you this. I can show you, completely forgetting that I have an exam too. Now, this coaching center, it's not in business anymore, by the way. No surprise there. Just like half of the coaching centers that are not there anymore. And I'll get to that later on. Now, I get told by a friend, go to this coach. He's a lecturer at a very known university. He's a clinical tutor. He's a specialist. He's doing the exam, the ADC exam, okay, because he needs to be registered too. But he has a lot of experience, and he's a specialist. And I said, yeah, definitely. I mean, if you recommend him. Because I need to check, you know, with a professional. I want to make sure that I'm okay. So I go. Okay, and he's telling me I'm more than okay, and I don't need any sessions or demos, and wish me all the luck. And he's a really good man and a really genuine person, and he refused to take money after that session. It was that only session. And he just said, keep practicing if you can. Your work is more than good. and superb, and you know, just keep doing what you are doing. So I really respected that in him. Now remember how he was also preparing for his exam, okay, that time? Believe it or not, he failed in that exam. So despite having experience and skills, he still failed. Now he luckily passed in the second attempt, but in the second attempt, he refrained from teaching anyone or coaching anyone and focused on himself and on taking what the ADC wants, not what the university usually requires or what real life we do or what his own personal experience as a specialist. And we are still friends till this day, and I have a lot of respect to him, and he's kind of like a father figure to me. So what about me in that attempt? Fail. And hang on, not only I failed, but I fell miserably, terribly, horribly. Like even in the full metal crown that everybody was praising me about, fail. Did you know in the exam I cut 3 teeth wrong? Because I was so scared and terrified. Now I only passed infection control, communication role play, and the x-ray. So I say, let's try again, okay? Let's practice. I'm going to practice this time for real. I'm going to finish my home setup. I delivered my baby. You know, I try to forget that he's a 2-month-old baby and I just need to focus. And I break my day into a schedule and work and practice, feed my baby, spend time with my other 3-year-old daughter, then practice again. I could have waited, okay, just a bit more to get more time to practice, and my baby gets a little older. But no, knowing myself, like, oh, I just want to freaking do it. I know I can do it, and like last time was just an experience and I didn't pay for it anyway, and I knew that I wasn't ready. And this time I was like, I ate the handbook from the amount that I studied it, and I worked again and again and again and kept assessing again and again and again, and I know how to assess my work, okay? And like after what happened, I didn't trust anyone anymore, okay? Everybody's like, you're gonna pass, you're gonna pass. So I was like, I'm gonna do my own thing and I'm just gonna focus. And I know I'm good, and I know that I understand the exam and the criterias, and I don't want to distract myself. And what happened? So close. I failed by 1 mark. I needed 1 freaking mark to pass. I get C in communication. The only thing I'm constantly good at, the only pure genius that I'm known to have, I get C. If I got a B, like last time, the only 2 tasks that I passed, I could have passed. What about the amalgam prep? A D. Because of a faulty tooth, all right? It had an existing gum cut, and I begged them to write it down as an incident report. We didn't have pre-existing damage form that time. We didn't have any photos taken to like verify that this cut was there before or not. And a cut, it was like a no-no. This is like, that's unsatisfactory. And they supplied us with faulty teeth and jaws, and then they had cuts. They had all provisional material on it. They had nicks. Like, remember, the system was new, okay? So like, we can't blame them entirely. They were in it also, like trying to figure out things, but this is your future. So anyway, the endo was a complete mess. It had no pulp chamber. Everybody was perforating, and they just like kept saying, no, you're good. Keep going, keep going, keep going. But I couldn't keep going. I refused to keep going. I just allowed the stress and fear to cripple me, and it affected my rubber dam station. I went into the communication room, and I go in and I tell my patient, you're healthy as a horse. And by the way, overconfidence. I was like, I passed my communication last time, and hey, excuse me, you're talking to me, okay? I'm like the best in communication. So I tell my patients, you are healthy as a horse. For goodness sake, who says that? But I did in that moment, in that exam. Out of all of the other exams, all of the other attempts, I got my communication right except that one. That one, if just the C was a B, I would have passed. With all of the faulty mistakes and everything else that happened, even with the D in the amalgam prep. If I didn't say that, I could have passed. If I didn't stress and rubber down, I could have passed. If I insisted on writing an instant report for the gum nick, I would have passed. Now, I want you to look at the mark here. So infection control, I get A. Last time B, this time was A. The provisional, I get A. In the X-ray, I get A. In the X-ray, I get B last time, I get A this time. Okay, so my marks are getting better. They send us an email. ADC apologizes, sorry, and gives a free exam to all of us, 180 candidates, but they give me personally an exam in a year. And I'm so ready. I'm so skilled. I'm so experienced. I can do this, please give me a chance. But they say, if you don't like the date, then pay for the exam. And that time the exam was $6,700. So I said, you know what, I'll take it and suck it. So let's try again. And while trying, since I have proven myself that I know what I'm doing and I know how to assess and I know what I'm good at and I know that I can share my experience and help others, let me help others and share with others my experience and expertise and let others help me with what I struggle and let everybody help each other with everything. So I opened a Facebook group. I opened 2 Facebook groups and I shared my story and I encouraged others to share, and it was so magical and so beautiful and everyone was sharing and caring and helping. It was such a lovely community. So these 2 groups are still, till this day, are here. This is such a legacy. I'm so proud of these groups. So 27,000 members combined, one for part 2 and one for part 1. And we're still growing every single day and we're still being able to touch people. So this by itself is like the beauty of, you know, it's the ripple effect of the good things that you do in your life. Anyway, I help hundreds by sharing and mentoring through Facebook and do online technical assessments and face-to-face gatherings, and all for free, okay, for like a very, very long time. We're talking about a 1 year here, okay, so a very, very long time. Like I was exhausted, like a full time it became. So at the very end, I did say, look, I need to start charging a very, very minimal fee just for my time. Exactly as, especially that I was like using my setup, using my materials, using my teeth, using all of the stuff. So there was a lot that were passing. And again, not because of my help solely, but I did play a big part in it, and it was appreciated, it was validated. And it was kind of like for me that, you know, I'm on the right track in what I'm teaching and that I am on the right track when my time comes again. So this is just a fraction of the hundreds of posts and thank yous. I got like literally a fraction, like there was hundreds and hundreds of posts. I'm just like exhausted. I can't go back to all of it, but I just wanted to show you that before I passed myself, I was able to help others pass, and I did at the end of it start actually like getting a lot of people getting results and passing a lot. Now, that time the marking system was different, okay? I feel a bit responsible to some extent that I created this move in that if you haven't passed, you're still able to teach. I feel there's a lot of misinformation out there and I didn't really see the ripple effect of it all. But I started noticing the amount of like brutal results affecting people, the candidates, okay? And like failing miserably because of the amount of like, oh my God, the amount of misinformation and the wrong things. It was like, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. People actually trust people who still failed and trust their information because, you know, they pass a task or a cluster, or even when they pass the exam. I'm talking about the new system, okay? I'm talking about the new system. Okay, hang on, all right? I don't mean to offend you or offend anyone, all right? I feel in that misconception myself. I felt that, okay? I fell into that misconception myself, like thinking, you're like us, you know, if you pass, then you definitely passed. When I started hiring people to coach at the beginning, okay, they didn't pass the exam, but they passed the task or like the clusters. And also from my own struggles with my own students who started getting that false sense of confidence and not accepting when in my marking in the assessment, when I failed them in a task, and then they tell me, no, Nina, I passed it in the exam. And I'm like looking at the word and I say, how the heck did you pass the task? You know, it just didn't make sense to me. So there was a lot of like false sense because they see the pass and they're like, ah, it's a pass. A pass does not mean a pass in the new system. I'll get to that in a minute. Actually, I'll get to it now. All right, so let's buckle up. Okay, so now it's the real talk. Okay, this is massive information and it can be a bit overwhelming, so bear with me just a bit, okay? Okay, so remember how I said there's an Enghoff method? It's Enghoff, by the way, not Engeloff. So basically, the Enghoff method, excuse my writing, is back in our time when there was just purely technical tasks. They were focusing on restorative dentistry. They were focusing on the prep tasks and the restoration. So we had like the class 3 prep, class 2 prep, PFM prep, full metal crown prep, class 4 restoration, class 2 composite restoration, provisional, all of the restorative tasks or the general dentistry from a technicality point of view was required. So we had the list, right? The handbook. And the handbook, by the way, did not change. So all of through these years, just a bit of modification, but it remained the same. From 2014 till this day, they remained the same, very, very little, very minor deviations that doesn't really affect the overall assessment. All right, so we had the criteria. Back in that day, we had ideal. And ideal was not a mark. It was just, okay, this is what is required. We had the satisfactory. Now, you remember how when you saw my results, you saw A and B, and then suddenly we turned into borderline and satisfactory. There was a period of time where we had A, B, C, D. And then they canceled that and they just did borderline, satisfactory, unsatisfactory. They resemble exactly the same, but there's no such thing as A anymore, and it was just an ideal as a guideline, okay? So you had satisfactory, borderline, and unsatisfactory. And each one had a criteria. Okay, now it was not like right now. So right now, your handbook, your technical task or your assessment, the rubrics, column, whatever you want to call, they are exactly the same, but instead of ideal, you have very good and satisfactory, same, borderline, same, unsatisfactory, same, but you have fixed 15 criteria, which means every single task you have, whether it's OSCE, whether it like OSCE communication, one of the templates, there's a rubric for it, right? So if you go back to it, you're going to find it has 15 criteria or something called criterion checklist. That's the assessment, okay? And then not all of them had 15. There were like 13, 12. So with us, we didn't have 15. With you, because I went back and compared them all, you have them fixed, every single one. Why is that? I'll get to that in a minute. So we have the Enghoff method. Now, I cannot be 100% sure because nothing in their references and their articles and their handbooks to say that they're still following the Enghoff method, but they still kept the criterion checklist. So they still have an assessment checklist. They still have the rubrics. But in our time, Enghoff method was the only type of assessment which assesses the task. It doesn't assess the performance as a candidate, within an environment, and you're stressed and what your other friends have done in that, or was the task very difficult or not. It just has a criteria. Have you fulfilled that criteria or not? No, then you might be a fail. So in our time, it was if you go and tick, let's say, you tick that, and then you tick just one of the unsatisfactory. You nick the adjacent in a way where it needed now a restoration. That's it. That's your mark. It's unsatisfactory. There's no turning back. So no matter how much you ticked, that's it. But in your new system, you have the 15 criteria, 15 checklist, and then you might have ticked 3 of the very good, and 5 of the satisfactory, and 2 of the borderline, and 3 in the unsatisfactory. Yep, you've ticked unsatisfactory, but you might still pass the task. It's a low pass, or it's a borderline pass, but it's still a pass because it's point system. So how point system? Remember how I said every criteria has a 15 points, 15 criterias? Okay, so the very good carries a score of 3. Are you with me for now? Let me try another color. Okay, so we've got, let me try the red. So we've got 3 for the very good, 2 for the satisfactory, 1 for the borderline, and 0 for the unsatisfactory. Which means the maximum number that you can get is 45 out of 45. That's the highest point that you can get. So obviously it's a pass. It's an outstanding pass, okay? You get 45. And the lowest is 0 out of 45, which means you ticked all of the unsatisfactory, so 0 by 15, it's 0. 3, which is the very good, by 15, which is the how many criterion checklist, equals 45. That's why the maximum you can get is 45. 0, which is the unsatisfactory. If you only ticked all the unsatisfactory, 0 by 15 is 0. So it's a bad fail. So a fail could be a fail or a bad fail. There's a borderline, there's a pass, there's an outstanding pass. So it's completely different from this system. With this system, if you got satisfactory, it means you 1,000,000% did not touch any of the borderline unsatisfactory. You did not do any mistake whatsoever. Okay? But in the new system, you might got a pass, but you ticked so many of the borderline and unsatisfactory and still overall managed to gather enough points for you to pass. So how do you know when you say, oh, I got a pass last time, I'm okay? How do you know what kind of mistakes that you did? And when someone is teaching you or saying, I'm an expert, but they failed and they got like a pass in a task or a cluster, or by the way, even those who passed the overall exam, how do they know that they did not tick some of the borderline unsatisfactory? When they're teaching you, don't touch the surface of the tooth because that's what I did and I failed. Don't burnish because that's what I did and I passed. And the last time I did the exam, I burnished and I felt like, how are you getting this information? So see what's happening right now. See why people are failing again and again and again. Number one, because they have a false sense of confidence, thinking that they passed. I mean, here's the marks, they got a pass. And number two, you're going and doing tutoring from anybody who just puts a certificate, not even a certificate, just puts, I got a pass in this task, so I can pass you. It doesn't work that way because, like I said, and remember with me? Remember what I said? From A to D in the same task that I performed well the first time. Consistency. The performance. You might end up doing mistakes. So for those who say, I'm confident, it's good to be confident but with caution. Okay? Be cautiously optimistic. That's what I call it. Because you need the consistency, not just because you got at home a pass or a satisfactory work, or even when you're coming for me with the assessment, not because I gave you a pass and that one means you're going to pass it in the exam. That's why every single week I ask for work, every single week until your exam, because I need to make sure the consistency. And how many of all of you have I ever gave consistently satisfactory? Never, because we're human beings. That's how we perform. But the good thing is that they stopped following ANGOF. They started following something called borderline regression. Okay, borderline regression. What does that mean? Borderline regression basically means they don't only take your criteria. So you need to tick the criteria. Like we said, it's a point system. So you got 23 out of 45. That does not mean it's a pass or a fail yet, because they take into consideration something else called global scoring. Global scoring is a new system with the borderline regression where the examiners have a say in your behavior or your performance or how you act, how you behave. Do they believe that you are performing like a competent person, competent dentist or not? How many times you go and work in a clinic and then you find some people way extremely well, and some people like dentists and some dentists, you say, how did they even get registered? Like they shouldn't be practicing. I hope someone revokes their license. That's why they added the global scoring, because what was happening is that in the ANGOF method in our time, competent people who did not perform well, or because of a very high standard of the technicalities of the exam, they couldn't perform well, they fail. And yet some non-competent people who performed well in the technicalities of it, they might not know how to diagnose, they might not know how to treat, they might not know how to even talk to a patient, but they technically just cut teeth. I've seen people like memorizing PFNs of other people who pass and just like put it in front of them and cut until they get it and they pass. But then after they pass, they get lost. And by the way, even me after passing, boy, the 6 months was hectic. Boy, was it hectic. Because I forgot what I studied. Remember how I didn't even study that much? And I like went to TG and I went and attended I did 135 CPD hours within 6 months or 9 months, because I didn't feel confident enough treating a patient. I know how to cut the perfect tooth, but I don't know how to deal with the patient. So they canceled ANGOF. They did a big, actually there was an external investigation. They decided this is not working. They actually found out that according to research, if they put the same candidate in the same system 100 times, they will not perform the same and they will fail many times. And that was because of the inconsistency and unreliability of the ANGOF method. So they moved on to the borderline regression. They kept the criteria, but like I said, it doesn't mean that if you tick one criteria in the unsatisfactory or one criteria in the borderline, it's a complete fail. It just means you did not gain points. That's it. So if you ticked borderline, you gained 2 points instead of you gained 1 point instead of 2 points if you ticked satisfactory. And the global scoring, it goes as 0, 1, 2, 3. 3 being outstanding, that they believe this candidate, their behavior, their performance, them, not just technicalities, skills, how they perform, how they talk, how they deliver, how they diagnose, how they gather the information. Not someone who's rehearsing answers. They give them a score of 3, or 2, which is satisfactory, 1 which is borderline, and 0 which is, I forgot, like a bad fail. I have to get back to that. And then they have a chart. So the borderline regression takes the criterion checklist, takes the global scoring. So this is the points here, all right? That's the point. So you've got from 0 up to 45. And then this is the global score, okay? And you've got 0, sorry, 0 is supposed to be here. You've got 0, 1, 2, 3. 2 is the borderline. And this is something that goes like, this is way more complicated even with me. Like, took me 6 articles and read all of the articles for ADC and gathered so many data. But there is some sort of computer system that analyzes these point system with a global and gives something called a cut score. So it depends on the performance of that group in that batch, whether they take a batch, whether they take a whole month, I'm not sure. All right? But what they do is they computerize and they get a cut score. So let's say, and this is according to the handbook, you can go back to it. The cut score was 23. 23 out of 45. So, and by the way, this borderline regression is like per task. And we have a task that is part of a cluster. And we have 7 clusters. And we have 2 clusters that are assessed among the 7 clusters. Like, look how massive and high stake this exam. And you guys are still thinking about it as a task. Yes, if you go somewhere and pay God knows how much for one-on-one for a demo of a task, and that time for someone who we don't even know if they tick the right answers or not, you will pass like the task. But there's so much more to the story than that, right? So let's say the cut score for that task was 23 out of 45. They do like a borderline regression. Some people got 23 out of 45, but their examiner gave them a global score of 0. Some people got 23 out of 45, and their examiner gave them a 2. Oh, I'm sorry, here, okay? Gave them a 2, which is the borderline. And some people got 23, and the examiner gave them a 3. So this is the cut. That's the cut score, okay? That's how it is. So it's an intersection, it's computerized. What's the cut score? They take the cut score, then they do a linear regression. That's why it's called the borderline regression, linear regression. And what cuts with the borderline? Anybody who got 23 out of 45, the cut score, but got a global scoring of 1 and 0, those are fails. And anybody who got across this one, so got 2 or 3, that's a pass. And then you got sometimes people who had 33, but it cut here because the examiner gave them a 1, so they didn't cut. I'm not sure, there's not accurate numbers, please, okay? Again, go back to the graphs. It's like in the handbook, fully detailed. I'm just trying to simplify it for you. So now you understand the borderline regression, the Angoff method, the criterion checklist, and the global scoring, their behavior. And I believe in infection control, and please do not take my words for it because I cannot back myself with data yet, is I believe with infection control, people are failing infection control not because they're just not putting the burr inside the handpiece, but because they are not you shouldn't be acting. You're not exhibiting the behavior of someone who's competent and confident and who's like identifying risks and this might injure the DA, this might injure me, dealing with critical instruments, high risk and low risk. So you're not exhibiting that behavior as if I see you, I feel comfortable giving you the license, because the borderline regression works on a borderline candidate. I want a candidate, and again, this is according to the articles, I want a candidate who exhibits the minimum knowledge and the minimum skills required for them to become registered. And this borderline regression and the introduction of OSCE and the articles both referenced by ADC, and I did my own private research, it is the most reliable system. And it's the most standard system that you can get, and it's a very, very fair system. So please have trust in the system, have trust in yourself, and think 1,000 times. Right now, if you failed this exam many, many times and you gave up, I don't blame you, but I hope that I've given you a bit of light that you can go back and say, you know what? I got it all wrong. And that's where, for me, I was sick and tired of teaching and then fighting the confusing information that was affecting my own students who are teaching. I can't fight everyone, okay? I can't fight the misinformation, and I get you. You feel the information is not enough, so you want to go to the public social groups and you want to get more information, but you get more confused. And that's why I decided for the past 6 months to sit down and say, I need a new program. I need to step up. I need to do something else. So let's get back inside and we'll talk about that. See you soon. Here I am, an expert, teaching so many. I have proven results, hundreds and hundreds of posts. Like literally, if I go back to my messenger from 2015 to 2016, crazy the amount of people saying thank you for the help, like spot on, the assessments are spot on. And I fail. And I fail miserably. And some of the people who I coached them and did the exam with me passed. So even if you are an expert, when you get confused sometimes, when you start building a lot of pressure on yourself, when you start going through social media and just getting 1,000, there's a 1,000 way to polish composite. Just stick to one. Now infection control, you remember the one I got B and A? Now borderline. Do you remember my x-ray that was A and B? Now it's borderline. Do you remember my provisional restoration that I got an A? I got unsatisfactory because I couldn't finish it. And I literally put it back, smashed it, cracked it completely. Because there's no guidance. There's no one to say the things that now I say from my own experience, sequence, you know, what you have to do. What happened? How could this happen? And by the way, I did my exam in the same venue that I took a course from. So that time, that course was giving it in the exam venue. So I sat, and coincidentally I sat in the exact same chair, used the same instruments, same burst, same everything, same materials. Like I wanted to touch everything. I wanted to make sure. I had the same DA who helped me in the course and told me everything about infection control. That was the time that I got borderline infection control. I felt worse than the first time. So what happened? Number one, faith, and that everything happens for a reason. I failed in front of the public eye, and I failed miserably worse than any other attempt, not including the first attempt. That doesn't count for me. The teacher failed in what they were teaching. How could anything be good out of this? And for those who want to only use the same brand and the same burr and the same instrument, the same tooth, and you want to buy everything that is the same, it's not going to make you pass. That's not what makes you pass. Now, if I want to be positive, as I always am, remember how I said there's a blessing in disguise? There's always a blessing in disguise. Because how could I be here today with you right now, sharing and teaching and inspiring you, and light that fire in you again? You who failed multiple times, I'm speaking to you now. You're not a failure. You failed the exam. Learn the lesson from your fails and try again. I learned a lot of lessons. What I'm teaching you, I had that. You are a failure when you give up. It's not about the results or your goal or the dream itself. It's about the journey. It's about the lessons and tools, the sharp skills and the ridiculous amount of expertise that you gain that is preparing you for something greater. You just don't know what it is yet. And on top of that, now, I hope that you understood the point system and the marking system and how big and massive this exam. This is a high-stake exam. Don't take it for granted. It's not as easy as going and taking just a demo and you're going to be okay. Or doing a one-on-one role play for 5 cases and you're going to be okay. Now, do you think that I, as a person who I am right now, I was always like that? No. No. But do you know why now I'm so tough? And I refuse to hear any excuses no matter how valid and true they are? Because I created excuses and I failed. And when I took ownership and I said, screw it, no matter what happens, I'm not going to give up. I will work with what I have. So what to do now? Okay, after me failing. Part 1 is expiring, have no fight left in me, I know everything. There's nothing to be learned. I took every single course out there, which half of them, by the way, don't exist anymore, because the reality of the ADC coaching business is that they open up as soon as they pass. They collect easy, quick money with the word, I passed, I know what I'm doing. And once they get the job as a dentist or they get a better paying job, they disappear. So anyway, I get a seat. It's my last attempt. You know, if I don't take it, that's it. So I said, oh, I can't fight anymore. You know, I get accepted in a PhD program. I love teaching. I just want to focus on academics. I always wanted that career anyway. All right. So I said, I'm going to focus on the PhD. I got accepted. I was doing my research proposal. And then I got a seat. They just say, you have a seat. Your part 1 is expiring soon. Here's a seat. I said, you know what? Again, just like part 1, what do I have to lose? But that fire in me was, though very weak, it was still there. So I had a plan. 1, ain't listening to anyone no more. Not going to get confused with so many ways and tips and tricks and people trying to help me. I appreciate it, but it gets confusing because there's just 1,000 ways to do things. It was just too much. And when you have an exam, you just crack under the pressure. So I selected myself, shut off all the social media. 1 or 2 study partners maximum. They have to be like me. I have to click with them. They have to know what they're talking about. They have to have skills to complement mine and help me in what I struggle, and we help each other. And unfortunately, everyone were my own students. Okay, even my study partner was my own student. But I trusted her and I saw in her the true skills and experience. And I'm never a person who can't take constructive criticism. So if there's feedback, you better give it to me. Okay? So she started becoming comfortable giving me the feedback that I needed. And so that's number 2. Number 3, I didn't care about the results anymore. Pass or fail, it doesn't define me. It doesn't define my life. My life will keep going on. You know, use what I learned during the journey and believe that life is all about lessons and tools. It's not just the result. Because you might pass. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be happy or you're going to get what you want. Number 4, let go of the fear that I'm not good enough, that my work has to be perfect and I have to score the highest mark in everything, because that's what social media also was doing. It's a bit rough. It's like this. 5, don't be overconfident in anything. Even if you passed the last time, it doesn't mean you will perform the same in the exam. Hear what I just said? Perform. So you might be really good in your work or your PFM, but when you performed it in the exam on that day, something happened. You overlooked something. You didn't perform as well as, and we never perform as well as at home. Number 6, instead of working on perfecting my work, I started working on my time management and my stress management and just ticking the boxes realistically. Number 7, one sequence in the exam, one sequence, how I do the tasks. I'll always start with this. One sequence, one source of information, okay, which is me in my situation, all right? Yes, I was my own expert. One technique, one way, that's it. And number 8, troubleshooting my work within the time management, no shortcuts, and learn how to freaking stop and accept my mistake, because believe it or not, even with a mistake, you can still pass. And did it work? Hell yeah, I passed. Whew. Okay, guys, so that was hectic, wasn't it? And that's unfortunately just half of what you have to learn for today. So remember how I told you that traditional courses are not helping, and some of your ways of preparing for the exam is costing you your future, and yet you don't even know why you failed. And I hope after this section you will not even get overconfident in the tasks that you actually passed in, and more on that after the break. So go and take a break, because I'm sure it was like really hectic. I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Enjoy. See you soon.
These days I'm afraid of me. There's fire where my heart should be. My confident core is weak. My mouth doesn't dare to speak. 'Cause I've been looking too hard for something, looking too hard for something, giving it all for nothing, trying too hard to love again. Looking for love again. Looking for love again. In light of reality, the truth, it's too good to be. Looking too hard for something, looking too hard for something, giving it all for nothing, trying too hard to love again. Looking for love again. Looking for love again. Looking for love again. Looking for love again. Maybe if I stop looking, take back all that I put in, elevate and pull you in. Maybe if I stop.
close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design.
Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong, to say that you'll bring me along to the world you see, to the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see.
Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head.
A million dreams are keeping me
A million dreams, a million dreams. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
for the world we're gonna make. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
What's stopping you? Are you too tired? Didn't get enough sleep? Don't have enough energy? Don't have enough time? Is that what's stopping you right now? Don't have enough money? Is that the thing? Or is the thing that's stopping you, you?
Excuses sound best to the person that's making them up. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get off the pity potty. Telling everybody your sad and sob stories, trying to get people to show up to your pity parties and your pity parades. If you ever see me in a Rolls Royce, a 6 or 7 star hotel, living my life to the fullest, don't get jealous of me, because I worked my ass off to get it. Nobody handed me nothing. Wake your ass up. Awaken the beast inside. It's game on. It's go season. It's time for you to take advantage of the access and the resources that you have in your country and your community. You got a problem with your life. You got a problem with your environment. Do something about it. If you want it, go get it.
Recognize the excuses are not valid. They're conjured up, they're fabricated, they're lies. And how do you stop the lies? You stop the lies with the truth. And the truth is, you have time. You have the skill, you have the knowledge and the support and the willpower and the discipline to get it done.
The fruit of everything good in life begins with a challenge. Everything is a pill that's worthwhile. And it's not going to come to you, and it's not going to fall in your lap, and it's not going to be something that, oh my God, it just was so simple. It's always going to be difficult.
If you want it, you gotta go get it.
This is your chance. This is your shot. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your place. This is your opportunity.
This is my time. This is my moment. Tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Ain't no such thing as tomorrow. We only got today. It's your dream. If you want to have it, get your butt up and make it happen. If you want to have it, rise and grind.
You still got work to do. Stay on that basketball court. Stay on that football field. It's grind season, homie.
Okay. So I hope the break was good, because I know there was a lot of information there, and you're probably now starting to reflect and thinking, right? But you're probably also thinking, so what are you telling us? So no one is good, I'm not good, no one is qualified to teach. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that now that you understand, truly understand the passing criteria, the markings, how there's a whole behavior and performance, it's time for you to be careful of who you choose to be coached by. You want someone who will give you the overall of everything. You don't want the bits and pieces, because they will not work. All right, we keep saying it. They will make you pass a task or a cluster. They will not give you the overall performance. So for us personally, we take you as a whole, like a holistic point from A to Z, because we know they all connect. From the technicalities to the knowledge, to the theory, to the communication. Being a dentist took 5 years of our life to become. Now you're going to tell me, but I'm already a dentist. And I say yes, and I was already a dentist. But especially with this new system. The dentistry that we learn back in our countries are not as comprehensive as the ones that are being taught here. And there's a lot of things that you and I are saying, why even say this? Why even do this? Why even act like this? Because this is a developed country. and the guidelines and standards here are pretty high. So there is a gap between our education and their education, and not me just after passing, like before passing struggle, even after passing I struggled, because the first 6 months when you practice, you start seeing those cracks and you start seeing those gaps. I had no OSCE for me to prepare, so I had to do the work by myself. I had to read TG, I had to go attend like literally 135 CPD hours of courses in like 6 to 9 months, when we were required 60 CPD hours in the whole 3 years. But because I was lost, there was a lot of gaps, and still I come from a very good university. So it's not as easy as some people say. When someone says OSCE is easy, it's easy when you get it right. But when you don't get it right, it's not easy at all. And if some of you are my own students, you know that the 3-week that turned out to the 6-week, that turned out to be the 12-week, that turned out to be, I'm still giving, and it's still not enough, because even for me, I underestimated the level of gap that existed in a lot of you. And how am I expected to teach 5 years worth of dentistry? Do you know that communication by itself, people pay thousands and do like specific special courses just for communication, just for treatment planning, just for treatment acceptance? And then you've got the knowledge, and everybody focuses on the theory. Everybody. There is a difference between practical knowledge and theoretical knowledge. It's a part of a criteria. It's called the scientific knowledge, but there is much more beyond that. How you're going to take this scientific knowledge that as a patient don't care if you know or if you don't know, and how to build that into a practical knowledge that you take what you took, you make a decision, and you deliver it to your patient. And you always have the patient in your mind thinking of it. So it goes more and more and more, and even in the technical. The difference between, you know, when you come to me in 1 to 2 months and you're expecting, you haven't touched a handpiece in 8 years, and you're expecting to suddenly become a master in PFM. So we all underestimated the massiveness of this exam, and it only hit me when my courses start becoming 5 months and still see the overwhelming. And by the way, the overwhelming was not because what we were teaching. It was the confusion that was going from the outside. I couldn't protect you anymore. I could not protect you because there was a lot of noise. And there's a lot of wrong information. And everybody was saying what they were saying, and people, good, experienced people, trusting what is being saying because the pass. So I really and truly hope that you, please, what is happening with you guys in your environment right now is, oh my God, nothing like what happened in our environment. I mean, we were confused because we had like 15,000 different techniques to polish the composite. But everybody, what they were saying was right, because I told you they never ticked the wrong box. But with you guys, everybody's saying everything, and it's just a complete mess. And it overwhelmed us way too much. Now, even when it comes to me, not necessarily, I had people who didn't pass the whole exam and were teaching, and I do not regret that. Until this day, I see some really good people who have not passed their exam yet and are genius in some points. So the qualities that I personally look for someone when they come and mentor with me, all right, is that they have to have a passion for teaching, a genuine sense of caring, and a true expertise to offer. And then I show them how to coach and mentor, because that's an art and a skill by itself. The quality of a true teacher they are devoted to their students and they actually care about their students' future. They have to do it for the passion. The money is an advantage. You don't do it for the money. Because when you do it for the money, regardless of the passion, once there's a better opportunity for better money, you go and pursue it. And because you don't have the passion, you don't keep digging for more answers. And you don't keep checking for problems and looking for solutions because you're not really passionate about it. So here's how I did it and I passed. okay? And then 2 months later, they're gone. They found a job. They don't want to do it anymore. All right? So for a teaching relationship to work, both parties need to be in it to win it. Okay? Now, one of the main selection criteria who I have to see in the mentors, whether they pass the exam or not, but remember, I do have enough experience to know who is experienced to give or not to give, to teach or not to teach. So one of the main selection criteria is I have to see pure genius in specific tasks or subjects, and then I give that to them. So who has the ethics, all right, to say, I don't know when they don't know, and then they refer. I have that in my mentors. They refer them back to either me or another genius in that task, and we all work together. Okay? So these people, for me, they are my own students. So I've trained them for such a long time. So whether they pass the exam as a whole or they pass that specific cluster or task, I've trained them for such a long time as a student. So they have a very solid foundation. And you can even see them, they start talking like me. And they allow them to specifically teach in what they passed. So again, I didn't choose anyone to teach only if they passed the exam or all. To me, the pass or fail itself is nothing. Okay, because my deep understanding of the point system, the marking system, has made me know who to pick and who to choose. I just hope that you get that too. Now, all what I wanted from the moment I opened the public Facebook groups, even before being a coach, is I wanted to build a community of like-minded people. You know, everybody's helping each other, from the candidates to the mentors. We're all in this together. Help, share, and care, and offer value. Okay, but then, you know, even when it started becoming a business, whether it's from home and then it grew up into the professional institute, I reached a stage where it just took over my life, and I still saw that what I was giving my students was not enough, because the more I'm in it, the more I do research, the more I realize it's bigger and bigger and bigger. Others kept doing the same courses, you know, 2 week, 3 week, 3 week, 2 week, 2 week, 3 week. That's it. But you need to evolve. For me, it started 1 day, 5 day, 1 week, 3 week, 2 week, 10 week, 15 week, 20 week. Because the more I research and the more I'm in it, the more I realize. And the ADC changes and dentistry changes. Modern dentistry is not like I graduated in 2011. It is not, dentistry now is completely different from what we learned back then. So I reached a stage where the message wasn't getting to them because of the confusion. I couldn't protect them from the outside, and I couldn't keep the way I was trying to deliver my courses and giving out information that the way I was in, because it just became humanly impossible to do so. It's just impossible, okay? No matter how long I make it. So that was a complete fail. I reached a stage where it was just a complete fail. And I saw some people were slipping through the cracks, and I cannot take it. All right, I can't control the amount of misinformation that is circulating in the social media. The false coaches who claim they know. They haven't even done the exam. I know a lot of stories, okay? Or people who failed miserably. Some like I personally coached a long time, and I know how miserable their work is, and they don't want to work harder, and I find out that they teach. And they claim that they are experts in teachings. Fake profiles, fake stories, fake marks. Okay? I can't do it anymore. All right? I know some people who opened their private coaching when they asked to come and teach with me. And then I said, are you going to be committed? Because I don't want someone who just comes for the money and then go a couple of months. It takes 3 months just to train you. And then you need to build that relationship with the students. Then, no. I have to be honest. I'm not doing it as a commitment. As soon as I get a job, I go. And then they open a coaching center in their place. I couldn't control okay, the choice of your study partners. Let's not even say coaches, the choice of study partner, because again, there was that misconception that they passed, so they know what they're talking about. So it's kind of like the blind leading the blind. I couldn't control the sense of false confidence, okay, that they are all right and that they don't need help anymore in that particular time because they passed in the exam last time. And surprise, surprise, they fail in the exam the very same thing that they passed the first time. It's crazy, right? Nothing for me was working. I'm still having people who are passing, but the price that all of us are paying from the student point of view and from us coaches' point of view, it's not working. So I wondered, how can I fix this? How can I deliver the message, deliver the information, teach everything that I have in my brain and my mentor's brain without losing my own sanity in life, give everything needed to pass the exam without the overwhelm, make the information accessible, give a choice to the true, genuine coaches out there to share their unique expertise with me and make it affordable. Because believe me, the minimum is 6 months to actually prepare for this exam. And that's if you are already like, I'm not going to say experience, like your basic level, but there's not that much gap between your university and like literally some people don't even know what a TOEFL matrix retainer is. So like we go really basic, okay? ADC says that it's recommended 6 to 9 months of preparation. So they didn't say it lightly. It's taking you guys 5 months to prepare for the part 1. So why are we trying to make the part 2 less? It is literally as if we're studying for part 1 and then 10 other things. So I wanted to do all this and keep the mentoring and the close connection with the students, but without losing myself and my career, because I stopped working in the clinic and I could not manage, and stop losing my money because of the high overheads that I had running the center and the lack of time of me going to work in the clinic to at least get a supplement income. And I still want to make it affordable and low price. It wasn't working. It wasn't working. So I created my new online program where I can make everyone happy, including myself and my mentors, without having to let anyone sacrifice at all. Sacrifice what? Sacrifice time. From both my end, putting endless hours of human labor, repeating and delivering so much information that literally took 5 years of dental school to deliver, and then having it to be expensive because it's time, and time is money. Time of the student where they had to put everything on hold to prepare for the exam and feel so overwhelmed without a chance to breathe or absorb the information they got, because by the time they start understanding what is going on in the course is finished and they forgot most of what they learned. So what do? They go to social media, they go to the study partners, they go to the friends, and they're pulling from their own experience in the exam and the false overconfidence, and they're getting confused again. They sacrifice thousands of money to do expensive comprehensive courses where you still need to pay for accommodation, be out of work, so no income coming, and still feel overwhelmed after the course and feel you want more, but you can't afford the money anymore or the time. And if you think you are the only one who was struggling with money, you should know what happened to me, because I was desperately trying to make it affordable to you. But running a business in Australia is not affordable at all. And I didn't have time to make money from anywhere else. And I barely broke even. But at the end, I started losing money. So I refused to increase the price because I knew it was already expensive. And me going through that journey, it doesn't sit well with me. I know that what's being given is still, for some, considered not enough, but what can I do? I'm a human and I'm losing money. And it's, I put a message, it goes because of the other confusions. I didn't have any other resource to go to. Okay, so till the day I decided what I wanted to do, I was fully involved with the students day and night. Even if it made me lose money, even if it made me lose time, it took away my life. But because, and I ask a lot of people, say, you don't market, you don't market, you don't market. And I said, wait. And this has been like, I'm talking about 10 months ago. And I was like telling them, wait. Market for what? I know I'm really good. I know my expertise. I know my experience. I know I have really good word of mouth. Like I was not marketing or advertising, and I'm fully booked like 3-4 weeks in advance. But I kept telling them, wait, because I saw it early on that it was not enough, but I refrained because I need enough data from both research and then speaking to the students and then seeing what works and see what doesn't work. And that's why I was so personally involved with the students, because I had to make sure that they still pass, and then me working on the project. It nearly tore me apart, like it literally nearly broke me. But thank God, because of my personal journey, I'm a very, very tough person. And it's just ethically, how many of you have I refused to service? You are in this, I know, you are in this webinar at the moment. How many of you I refuse to give you? When you asked for a one-on-one and I said, no, it's not going to work. And I told you this is easy money for me and it's not going to help you. Because unless I lay a specific foundation, I'm basically taking money out for nothing. Because I know it's not going to help. It can make you pass like one task or one station, but it's not going to make you pass the exam. And how many of you asked me to do like kind of like online services, which at the beginning I wasn't really giving. So I did it and didn't charge the money because I knew I had the skills and I had the expertise, but I was like still playing up with the online a bit, and I just refused to take money. I said, you know what, I can use this for my business. So I actually told the students, I'm more than happy to give you for free, and I'm just like trying out the technology part of it. So if I screw up a little bit, I apologize. Okay, when I take money for someone, like the amount of value that I am giving, like it has to be like 10 times what they pay. I want to make sure that whatever they are taking, they're like changing their lives, not just passing an exam, changing their life. And I see it so much now, so many of them who pass, and I still am in touch with them, and it's beautiful. I can't explain it, okay? But anyway. Now, another sacrifice is, what about those who have a problem with time? What about those who have a problem with money? What about those problem with the accommodation? But what about those who can't get a visa to come and attend the course? Have little kids, they can't leave them. Physically, they just can't come at the moment because of a health issue or a family commitment or something. And the light bulb lit finally. After years of struggling as an ADC coach and mentor, I reflected, I interviewed, I collected data, evidence-based data, I analyzed everything I observed and experienced. From the moment I was an ADC candidate myself, to an ADC mentor, to a professional coach. And if anyone knows me, they know that I'm a bit crazy and a bit cuckoo head, okay, when it comes to innovation, because I'm always thinking about what's next. Because for me, my nature is I always look at problems and I get solutions. That's how I'm wired. And for me, it kills me. I just take it personally. I don't know why, I just take it personally. When I see someone struggling in what I struggled, and I have the knowledge and I have the expertise and skills, and they're not even letting me help them because they had that false sense of overconfidence or trusting other people who I know are not experts, but I can't do anything. What am I supposed to do? So, Now we know what the problem is. What about the solution? Online course. You're kidding me, right? That's your new program, right? That's what you're telling me right now. Like every other online course out there. Isn't everyone offering online courses these days anyway? Like especially right now with the coronavirus. Yes, everyone are offering courses. But remember how I said that courses alone don't work? So what does work? Mentoring. You're shocked again, right? Like I'm already offering mentoring through my courses. The mentoring course and the after support I was giving during the other courses. Well, courses alone don't work. Mentoring alone without a course doesn't work. And additional methods of deliveries for courses and services and mentoring the way we were used to doing it won't work because of the sacrifices, not the results, it's the sacrifice, the price that they pay, not just money-wise. So it's an online program that offers all A to Z courses broken down into mini courses with their own modules and lessons. A course for OSCE that is purely dedicated to the knowledge component only and deliver through online portal. Course for OSCE that is purely dedicated to the communication component only and deliver it through online portal. Course for the skilled OSCE with step-by-step demos of every single task that comes in the exam plus mini lectures to cover the theory part and deliver it through online portal. Course for the technical day with step-by-step demos for all tasks that comes in the exam and delivers it through online portal. Course for infection control where it covers step by step the whole process of infection control from both the theory to the practical guideline according to Australian dental practice guidelines and delivered through online portal with videos about how to perform tasks following infection control. But I'm not finished. Now, come on, you know me by now. I like to underprice and over-deliver. All these courses will be delivered through something, you know, you've just heard it, something called an online portal. It's a sophisticated high technology that delivers courses exactly like universities do. Kind of like Blackboard, if you ever heard of them, heard of it. And it's like the most sophisticated and intelligent learning system. But we know even that won't work, or at least I know, because that's part of our broken educational system, even in our traditional university degrees. You think about it, there is a lot of broken systems at the moment where they used to shove books in our faces and a lot of self-learning, and we came out of university with so much gap that we couldn't, like it took us years to recap or fill. So you know the best part of the solution is you can attend your lectures, demos, and courses over and over and over again for the life of your membership. So what's a membership, you say? Well, it's kind of like an inner circle of exclusive members where you are part of a community, a society, so you will never feel alone. You never need to be exposed to confusing information or incorrect information from the public groups or anyone for that matter ever again because simply you needed more information and couldn't find it. So what else? I mean, this is truly enough, right? Nah, there's more. The virtual mentoring. So live interactive Q&A sessions every 2 weeks for the life of your membership. Online technical assessments, 10-minute role-playing mocks with me with on-spot feedback, case discussions, any question you have about anything ADC and dental related. Ask away, never feel desperate ever again. There's going to be homework, there's going to be homeworks to keep the momentum and the accountability. And that exclusive Facebook group where me and my other mentors involved in it are always there to help with you and share with you anything that is new, anything that has gone updated, anything that we learned, okay? A new tip that we learned, sometimes taught from our own students, and we want to share with you. Okay, so the membership benefits, it's as a member, you will get exclusive discounts to our own products or in-home setups. Get exclusive discounts to any of our face-to-face services, workshops, mocks. That's if you ever need it after the awesome program anyway, because I tweaked it a little bit more after the coronavirus, and that's why it took a little bit longer. And also we are liaising and collaborating with other professional institutes. I'm so excited about this. I can't say more about it for now, but trust me, the things that we're coming up for you, oh my God, it's the beautiful community that I've always dreamed of building. So there's, we're collaborating with other professional institutes, and we can get exclusive discounts for CPD courses and workshops, exclusive to you. We will be helping you with job opportunities, where after you graduate from the course, we can get you like a job reference to facilitate your job hunting, and then like compensate for the lack of current Australian dental experience, because I've made sure that the courses I deliver truly prepares you for passing and after passing, because they are interconnected. You can't separate them. You will not pass until you exhibit the professional dental behavior here in Australia. You can't separate that. We're going to give referrals to our affiliates who they offer also jobs. Some of them are in corporate, some of them private jobs, some of them rural, and hopefully to get you some job opportunities after you pass, and offer CPD hours for your attendance of our own ADC courses, and then you can get even more value for what you're paid for. Because what we are teaching is real life dentistry and will help you so much after passing. So when you pass, what about after you actually pass? Come on, that's a big achievement, man. You'll get an award delivered to your very own front door, no matter where you are in the world. I don't care. I'll make it happen. You deserve to be rewarded, and you deserve to be awarded for your achievement. And what better award than a trophy of a boxer and a true fighter, symboling one of my personal biggest idols on earth, Muhammad Ali. And you'll be sent a trophy and a gift voucher on top of your trophy that values at least $200, okay? And because you know me, I like creativity, so the ideas of the gifts alone are like endless, and you truly deserve it. Now, disclaimer, this trophy is just an image, okay, for illustrative purposes only, but you'll get something similar to it, okay? And Muhammad Ali is nicked the greatest. And what I am offering you is the greatest course. So if you think about it, a postgraduate degree of duration of about 6 months, that's around 25K, right? And that's like not tailored for ADC, that's just like a dental degree. A 3-week course with other coaching centers is 7K. Just for a 3-week where like everything is being compressed. And because it's not enough for the OSCE part, you spend another 2K elsewhere, right? And then you end up finding it's not enough. And how could it be enough? And it's not your coach's fault too. And it's not your fault too. Because you're expecting something that took 5 years in college to be learned and magically get it taught or understood by you in a couple of months. But you can't afford another course. Or you've lost hope in all the courses. So you go and take individual services one-on-one from God knows who, and if they are actually good or not, and you trust them with your money because they passed, right? And that costs around another 2K. But you ended up losing at least 5K from not being able to work because of the courses, right? And around another 2K for flights and accommodation for the courses. So let's sum it up so far. 2K, 25K for a 6 months course taught through university-based providers, but doesn't know half of what actually ADC requirements are. Okay? Because especially with the technicals, the very specific criterias. 7K for 3-week course, 2K accommodation flights, 2K for OSCE online course, 2K for one-on-one services, and 7K of at least loss of income. That's about $20,000. That's just for one attempt, and hopefully that you pass that attempt. $20,000. And that's if you got it right by choosing the right coaches and mentors, and that like you actually felt that it was enough and that you actually passed the exam. Otherwise, you will be redoing it all over again and paying all over again, because simply you are not able to do it alone, and it takes more than a year to pass if you do it alone. And have I even mentioned that this doesn't include the exam fee and its own associated cost? I bet you never thought of it that way before, right? So how much to ask for? So if I ask for the greatest course, which is 6 months online, fully comprehensive course that offers full detailed lectures of every single topic in every single station, case and subject. Do you know that just for ulcers, I actually have 9 lessons of recorded, beautifully laid out lectures with full slides and full explanation. You can hear and see and repeat, and once and twice and 10 times. 9 lectures just for ulcers. And that's like one title in one, like ulcers goes under oral mucosal diseases, that goes under oral surgery and oral pathology, that goes under OSCE knowledge, and that's just one. And I have full, beautifully and professionally taken videos for technical tasks with step-by-step instructions that you will have full access for it for the full 6 months course. And everything is structured, so nothing will open until I make sure that you finish this. I'm not letting you control the way you study, because I did it and it didn't work. So I'm sorry, I'm going to do like universities, and this is your curriculum. This is how you're going to follow it, because I know it's going to work. I'm that confident. So how much to ask for? Would $20,000 be a fair price for this 6 months comprehensive course, like everything, OSCE, technical, skilled OSCE, everything, and videos and demos and seeing it and beautifully with light and voice? And what about 15,000 to make it a little bit more? Okay, what about 10,000? 10,000, like, that's good, right? That's really good. So how much to ask for? Like 6 months of online course that covers, you think about it, OSCE knowledge course, that's 2,000. OSCE communication, that's 2,000. Technical course, that's 2,000. Infection control course, that's at least 1,000. 6 months of virtual mentoring, that's about 2,000. Access to the recording of all role play and case discussions, nicely and neatly uploaded in your portal, that's about 2,000. Facebook group that is exclusive for members, that's priceless. Life coach who knows the deepest secrets of mindset and psychology to keep you moving forward no matter what, and work on your behavior, that's priceless. And being coached by the actual person that is advertising for the courses, because you know how other courses like but then when you go to the center, it's like other coaches, that's priceless. So total of 11,000 right now of what I am personally offering with this program. Like right now, 11,000. So how much to ask for? So should we agree on 10,000 as a fair price? All right. What about 7,000? Would that be more affordable and better? I mean, I'm sure and confident that you see the value in what I'm offering here, right? Like that is the price, and you will never ever have to ever pay for anything ever again when it comes to ADC, and you'll always get reliable information. And even if you need one-on-one, boy, do I have qualified people for one-on-one services, because I personally don't do one-on-one, but boy, do I know some who are extremely well and qualified. So how about, since I'm so generous and I love giving, I should price it for about 5,000. Okay, hang on, what about the bonuses? Because of the coronavirus, I really thought about it and I'm like, well, there's a lot of people who got their exams cancelled and God knows when they will get an exam again. And I know a lot of you guys were like upset that your exam got cancelled, but secretly, deep down, I was really happy that your exam was cancelled because I knew that like 80% of you weren't ready. Even those who thought that they were ready, you were not ready. So I decided to give extra 6 months of access to the portal. So an extra 6 months of the course, that's 2,000. Extra 6 months of the virtual mentoring through the live session, that's another 2,000. An extra 6 months of access to the portal itself. Sorry, that an extra 6 months of membership and all the goodies that comes with it. That's another 2,000, and an extra 6 months of being in the Facebook Inner Circle group, and that's priceless. So that's an extra 8,000 in bonuses alone. Where are you going to get this? Anywhere else. Anywhere else. The best that some do is send you some audio recordings of the live session, so nothing even extra. I'm giving you full live sessions on top of the hundreds of recorded hours of lectures in such a beautiful and basic language, and everything is broken down simple and what actually is needed to pass the exam and to practice as a clinician. Like, you will be blown away with the amount of transformation that I can offer you in this online course and online program. So truly, you think about it, that's 11,000 plus 8,000. So I'm like offering you more than 19,000 worth of things. And if you think about when compared with the other courses, like this is like I'm giving you everything on a plate. Like you have to go to YouTube and watch this, and then this is broken, and you have to go into a Zoom session and this drops and you can't hear this, and you're hearing from this and that because they passed and now you know what that means. So my offer, 5,000, I really think it's a fair price for 12 months. Okay? 12 months, and even if you pass and you still have the extra, I mean, it's extra anyway, it's a bonus for you. You'll be shocked of the amount of value that you're getting even after you're passing. But I don't want to ask for 5,000, not even 4,000, not even 3,000. Come on, you know me. Come on. I want to offer it for $1,997, so less than $2,000 US dollars. Now, some of you might be wondering why we decided to do it US, because when we opened as a business, we're global, we have a lot of transactions, and it turned out it's really difficult when you have multiple currencies, and USD is the global currency. So made it easy. The accountant said just go for it, US dollar. And I think it will be helping a lot of you guys who live overseas too, because the way the currency exchange and stuff, it actually costs you also more money. Now, you're going to tell me that I might not be able to afford it, paying in advance. Well, we have an installment plan. And the installment plan would be $397 over 6 months of payment. So there's no excuse of you not getting your life together and be properly trained and truly just breathe for once in your life, still have your job, still make money, still be with the kids, still enjoy life, be stress-free, feel surrounded by a community where you trust. The amount of love that we get as like E-DENTs, the members between themselves, you don't see it if you're not with us, but if you're with us, you know it and you can see it. So we're telling you, come and join a community, come and join a family. And because I am a person who loves over delivering and giving value and genuineness, if you're not happy, I'm giving you 30-day money back guarantee. If you're not happy, I don't want your money. Okay, that rhymes on purpose. All right? It's simple. I told you, a teaching relationship, we need to click. So 1 month and you're still not satisfied, or you don't see the value where you can't, or like, oh my God, how can I leave this community? Then I'll give you your money back, because clearly this relationship is not going to work. Otherwise you'd have seen the value and you'd have seen the results. Okay? So recap, the greatest course, 6 months access to all the online courses, of all the components of ADC Part 2, courses that are worth $11,000 alone, 6 additional months access to the online portal, $2,000, 6 months of virtual mentoring, and then another additional 6 months of virtual mentoring through the live sessions, and 12 months of membership. So 12 months of course, 12 months of membership, 12 months of the virtual mentoring with the live interactive sessions, and getting your life back and getting that work, study, life balance. I think that's priceless. And don't forget about the trophy and the $200 voucher gift when you pass our exam, because you deserve to be awarded when you pass this, because you're a true fighter then. So sorry for this hectic webinar, but I hope you saw the value regardless of what you decide with the offer. And for me, I can sleep much better that now it's out there, and I truly believe it is invaluable, and there is no price to put on what I have just offered in front of you. So I hope that you take the offer. Good luck and take care, and I hope that I'll see you soon. Goodbye for now.